October, otherwise known as Mattstober, here in lovely University Park, has arrived. The most beautiful month of the sports calendar, with NFL football, college sports starting up, baseball in the playoffs. There's so much to go through. And in the words of Cody Rhodes, what do you want to talk about? Well, there's so much to talk about. We're going to talk about it all on today's 360 Frenzy. Welcome back, everyone. I am Nate, joined alongside Aaron, Parker, and Luke, as we are going to hit on the biggest headlines surrounding sports at the moment with our TV that is sadly taking the day off because it wanted to be part of the Full House intro. So we're going to start off in college basketball, where news broke earlier this week about the shocking retirement of college basketball coach Bruce Pearl, one of the best coaches in Auburn basketball history, deciding to hang it up potentially to pursue a career in politics, but we'll figure that more out down the line, not necessarily the platform to talk about all this. But they have a successor, his son, Steve Pearl, scheduled to take over as head coach. What do you guys think of this move? Is it just, family nepotism? Is it going to take the Tigers over the top?
I personally think that he is going to be an extension of his father. I don't think it'll be that big of a change to Auburn. They keep the roster the same. They have their big players. So I personally don't think this will shake the team up that much. I mean, Bruce might be in his ear the whole time, just telling him what to do.
I think this is going to be good for Auburn basketball, actually. I think they're going to bring in someone younger who can relate with the players now, especially in the NIL market. You need a coach who can be there and relate to his players. I think they'll bring in who have the same system as his dad, who'll be able to implement it well, recruit better than his dad did. And I think in the long run, at least, this will be good for Auburn basketball.
Why do you think the recruiting is going to be better?
I just think kids nowadays, they don't want to hear from Bruce Pearl, who recruited before the NIL days, who was like, I did this back then. I did this when we could practice all day, when I could run you into the ground. I think finding a coach who's younger and who can even fit in with the players more will be able to bring out just more from the players.
I agree with you, Parker. I think it's going to be an extension. Since he's been in the Auburn program for so long, he's been working under his dad for so long, I don't think that it's going to be much different. And I think that it's a great advantage that he has been in the program so long. So all these veteran players already know him. They already know his style. They know how he's going to work. I'm sure that this has been kind of curated for a while now that this is going to happen. So I'm sure that this isn't news to anybody in the program. And since he was in 2023 as defensive kind of coordinator, I think that is only going to improve, and he's only going to be more focused on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, of course. We've seen a lot of college coaches go over the last few years. Roy Williams, you had Coach K over at Duke. And this is just the latest example. Jim Boeheim up at Syracuse, Jim Larinaga at Miami. A lot of turnover down south in the coaching ranks, but this is still a team that went to the Final Four last year, has to replace the winningest coach of all time in program history, but he wasn't exactly a perfect coach, so there is definitely room for improvement, and definitely wasn't a perfect coach, especially dating back to his time at Tennessee.
My favorite story of Bruce Pearl's here is he got fired for hot tubbing with college girls in Tennessee. That is unbelievable. Get Bruce out of the college sports, honestly. I can't believe it.
That is incredibly believable for most college coaches, but do we think this changes the expectation for Auburn? Obviously, you lose the reigning player of the year in Janai Broome, or at least a contender for reigning player of the year in Janai Broome. So you got to replace him. They bring back Todd Pettiford. But again, it's a team that went to the Final Four last year. A lot of turnover. Do the expectations for them change now that it's a new coach?
I think they do. I think personally this team will have to take a step back this year. Losing your head coach, even if your head coach's son is taking over, is still a big hit to a program. So I think they're going to take a step back this year. Maybe, Sweet 16, Elite 8 kind of level. But I think next year or the next 2 years, they're going to be able to step back into it. But they're going to need a year off, regroup, see what this new coach is about, and then they'll be able to really make a push.
No matter what, if anytime a coaching staff changes, your team is set back. No matter if it's the best coach in the world, your team is automatically going to be set back at least one notch. So I think maybe something like the Elite 8 can expect out of Auburn.
I personally think that it won't affect them that much. They have some really strong transfers coming in. They have Kevin Overton from Texas Tech. They are just very strong players. Keyshawn Murphy, these players will be able to uphold that performance, I believe, and then keeping the roster the same and keeping their very strong players. I don't think they'll feel the shakeups of this that much. They're not bringing an entirely new coach. They're bringing in their coach's son. So it's not very different.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how sometimes bringing in the coach's son can fail, but they do sort of have that floor. They bring in power forward transfers, like you said, because Sean Murphy from Mississippi State, Keyshawn Hall from UCF. So could still be around like that number 4 seed range. But moving on to a sport that's still about a month away to one where it is college hockey eve as Penn State set to embark on probably the most highly anticipated season in program history. Hopefully they don't follow in the steps of the football program.
It's not even funny.
Yeah,
Don't make jokes.
Why'd you
It's
bring
too
it up,
soon.
man? Too soon.
We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, because we're talking about a team that can actually win the national championship this year in the hockey club with Gavin McKenna coming in, Jackson Smith, a lot of returning production. What are our expectations for Penn State as they're set to face Arizona State to open the season tomorrow night in Tempe?
I mean, I think they're going to perform. I am worried because there are 325 Canadian Hockey League players coming in. So we are going to see new rosters. We're kind of unaware of how these rankings and how these matches are going to play out because of how new the team is and how unfamiliar everyone is with each other's teams.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see how they'll adapt to this influx of talent, and it's taking place all over the country.
I think this influx of talent is huge for hockey in a great positive way. I think this will make every player just that much better. What do you want out from when you're young is the best against the best, right? So bringing in the best players from overseas is going to make this hockey that much better.
I think that college hockey itself is going to change dramatically. It's always been NHL, and you kind of overlook college hockey. But I think that with the new influx of Canadian players, that's going to completely change the game, and I'm really excited to see that. However, I am kind of scared that Gavin McKenna is a little bit overhyped. I know that he was the number 1 draft pick and that he's projected to be such a good player, but I think that the more you overhype a player, look at Arch Manning, look at DJ Lagway, the more you overhype a player in a team, the worse that it gets in their head. They're only college kids. They're only 17-year-olds.
Yeah, the thing though with the now influx of college hockey talent, a lot of these guys have these expectations from when they're 9 years old. Remember the Mitch Marner documentary? They followed him from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So these guys are used to this type of expectation. It's just weird to see it coming into American hockey. And especially because there's a lot of returning talent on this Penn State team that can supplement them. It's not just the Gavin McKenna show, the Jackson Smith show. It's guys that came back from last year. Matt DeMarsico, who sent them to the Frozen Four, made history. Aiden Fink, who was in the running for the Hobie Baker Award for the best player in college hockey. Dane Dowiak, JJ Weebush. And I have to say, one of the funniest things I did today was Google Penn State returners, and the AI overview spelled every single one of their names wrong. So if you need something to do to laugh at after this, go and do that. But this team, no joke, so much returning talent. My one question is in net with Kevin Radler because you're losing Arseny Sergeyev, one of the best goalies in college hockey last year. So that's a pretty big question to have, especially for a team that took a while to get going last year with so many new pieces. Is that something to keep in mind as well?
I don't think it'll be a problem. I feel like the team chemistry has really been working. Coach Godowski was saying that with McKenna, he's an excellent hang. He said that 7 times in their media. So I think that the team will mesh well, and that'll be the key. Because if you have the number 1 draft pick, you are going to get very, very focused on that one person unless there is a team built around that, not just, let's just focus on him.
I think losing your goalie, no matter what sport it is a huge loss, right? It doesn't matter if you're losing the worst goalie in the league and putting the best one in. Losing your team's goalie is going to be a huge loss. So they might leak a goal or two in the beginning of the season, but once the goalies and the defense gets to know each other, they form good chemistry, I think it'll be no problem at all.
Yeah, I think getting comfortable is really going to be the key here. And maybe an early loss just because of expectations and, new players coming in, even the veteran players trying to bond with the new players and this upcoming talent. But once the season actually gets into play and playoffs come in contention, then I think for sure that we could be a top seed.
Yeah, absolutely something to keep an eye on. But moving on from potential playoffs to where we are now, the MLB playoff format. 3 win or go home games today. Game 3, we just got word from our lovely friends in the studio that the Tigers took down the Guardians in Game 3. They will be taking on the Mariners in the American League Division Series. Still 2 more to go. Padres, Cubs should be getting started right about now on ABC. Go watch that after this. And then tonight, one that's been a pretty divisive series within the College of Com, the Yankees and the Red Sox. What do we think we're expecting from the rest of the games tonight And then looking ahead, we know we have Phillies Dodgers. We know we have Tigers Mariners. What do we think happens from there?
I think the Yankees go out and they make a statement today, right? They got embarrassed at home. They couldn't put up runs in that bottom inning. They finally won one yesterday, just barely won it yesterday too. So I think they come out today. The home crowd has their back. And they're able to use that to their advantage and take a win tonight.
I also think the Yankees are taking the win. They're messy, but they are very, very talented. And I know in the control room, we're going to hear some fight back about, no, defend Boston.
Our director Gabby is is loving this right now.
But I really do think the Yankees have what it takes to keep going. I don't think they're going to make it to the final. I really don't. But who knows? They might shock me.
Both the Yankees and the Red Sox have their starting pitcher, as they're both really young players. So I think that it'll be just like it happened last night. It'll be a quick put in the pitcher and take them out. I think they're both going to heavily rely on their bullpens. And I think that it's really going to be like a dogfight right until the end.
I'd argue in that scenario, it actually favors Boston because the Yankees bullpen has been awful ever since the trade deadline. You know, they bring in Camilo Doval. They bring in Jake Bird, who got demoted to AAA within like 2 weeks. You bring in David Bednar, who's been the best of the bunch, but this bullpen's sort of been their undoing. And you're right, it's two guys that have 19 career appearances between them starting tonight. So gotta wonder if Aaron Boone can finally figure out how to manage this bullpen. And I wanted to see what the starting lineup looks like, because Jazz Chisholm and Ben Rice didn't start in game 1, had them start in game 2. And obviously the Yankees went on to win. So it's going to be very managerial chess. But I want to touch a little bit on Cubs Padres. What are we expecting there? Two teams that love their bullpens, two teams whose bullpens have actually been pretty good.
I'm really hoping for a Padres-Dodgers Interstate 5 rivalry game. Sorry. So I will be cheering for the Padres. I think they have what it takes. We've seen their performance. You know, they've been difficult matches, but I still think that they come out ahead of the Cubs.
I have to agree as well. I think Fernando Tatis is going to have himself a day, of course. He's the best player on the team for a reason. Machado might even get out there, hit a few bombs. I think it's the day for the Padres to win.
I agree. I think the Padres are going to take the game today because after game 1, when the Cubs come with the back-to-back home runs, and then the Padres yesterday with their 2-run homers, I think that really it's just going to come with the momentum, and they're going to take it.
And two teams that are desperately trying to pick up a win to keep their season alive. But now it's time to shift over to the board as the NFL unveiled some really cool rivalry jersey uniforms and some ones that were really, really bad. But we're going to focus on the best of the best and take a look at our favorite ones and why they were. So starting off with Aaron.
My pick for the rivalry jersey is coming up, and it is the Dolphins jersey. The Dolphins jersey is just so good. I love their like under deep waters like motto. I think that it's great, and they won their first game of the season with these jerseys on. Is this the good luck charm? I think so.
Go. I didn't even think about that. They got their first win. Yes, it was the Jets.
I was going to say, playing the Jets, I don't know if you even count that as a win anymore.
I count any win.
But they barely beat the Jets. And
you know what?
But
They
they've been
still beat
struggling.
the Jets.
I don't know.
They
That's
beat
not
them.
saying much.
It's look good, feel good, play good.
Exactly.
I don't-
Nate.
I don't know if I say they played good, but
Oh, wow.
Get Chad Powers back here. Play quarterback, please.
Chad Powers up there.
Don't talk about it.
All right.
All right, then coming over, we got my pick for my favorite rivalry uniform. It has to be the 49ers uniform. I mean, you look at the black, the gold, the red. It's just the perfect color combination. And then you mix in the cultural significance of the 49ers, the gold being the gold rush. It's just an awesome jersey. And I think Christian McCaffrey might go for $250 when they finally wear these.
I think you might have to because I don't know who else is on the team.
They got a couple players like still kicking somewhere.
It's Christian McCaffrey and Jake Tonjes.
I mean, who else do you need?
I didn't know who Jake Tonjes was.
No, I don't
2 weeks
actually.
ago.
I still don't know who he is, but it's fine.
I'm still convinced he's made up. But Parker, what are we feeling is the best of the
I'll
rivalry
tell you.
jerseys?
Okay, I'll tell you. So my pick was the Rams. I love the dark jersey. I'm a really big fan. Plus, the Hollywood Park racetrack sign font in the back that is my favorite part. I feel like it's an allusion to Inglewood. I love that. That's where they are. That's their history. So I'm a big fan of that. Do I think the work in the dark or in the spotlight is a little corny? Yes, but I feel like we need to embrace being corny more. So that's my new movement. So I'm a fan of this. I really enjoy it.
Embrace being corny.
Yes, that's my motto. I feel like people need to care more. Everyone's too nonchalant.
Corny 2025.
Yes.
Everyone's too
You
nonchalant.
need to
All right.
care. Like, it's
Okay.
fun.
That's fair. All right.
It is fun, and jerseys are fun. And let's take a look at what I thought was the most fun one of the bunch. I think it's very fitting that we
I
have
know.
Owen Klein on camera for this one. It's the Buffalo Bills snow jerseys. These things are incredible. Normally, I'm somebody who believes more is more with jerseys, but what do we know about Buffalo? They have chicken wings, and it snows a lot. And they really lent into the snowstorm aspect of it. Just a really clean jersey that is going to be incredible to see, especially in prime time when they face the Patriots on Sunday night. Hopefully their version of the whiteout goes better than Penn State's did. But again, this jersey's just so clean. It looks so nice. And it represents Buffalo because, again, they have chicken wings and they have snow. So the eventual chicken wing jerseys are going to look really good too.
You say
What is,
chicken wing
what is
jerseys?
the
Wait, what?
jersey?
Yeah, the Buffalo sauce jerseys.
When is that coming?
No. Don't even speak those
I
into
want
existence.
those now.
Yeah, are you
No.
going to design it?
I'm going to get a Cole
Okay,
Beasley
okay.
one if
Don't
they
even-
make them.
Don't even speak that into existence because you're going to say that.
Why?
It's going to go to the wrong place and they're going to make it. And it's going to be the ugliest jersey. It's going to be on par with those
It's going to be.
ugly Buccaneers jerseys that I can't even
Oh
like.
yeah.
Are you complaining about the creamsicle
You're
jerseys?
damn right I'm playing about
No.
I think
Damn right.
everyone's
right.
complaining about
Yeah, helmet's pretty cool. I'll give him that. But the rest of it, oh.
Remember when you
I
said we were
like
going to
them.
talk about jerseys for too long?
I
Look
could-
who's dragging it now.
I
Okay.
could talk jerseys for
No,
hours.
it's whatever.
All right, fine. I guess we'll move on from jerseys.
All right, we'll move on from jerseys. Two rookies in the NBA. NBA Media Day took place yesterday, and it's almost time for the class of 2025 to take the court. Who are some rookies that we are very excited to see heading into the year?
I mean, who other than Cooper Flag are we excited to see hit the NBA court? Like, his defense is amazing. He's unguardable, I think. And him with the Mavericks, I think, is only going to improve his game. I'm really excited to see how he takes, like, understanding college ball and being able to play college ball to taking that to the next level in the NBA.
Yeah, I remember reading the reports during when they were picking Team USA and they had them scrimmaging against the U18 team. They were saying Cooper Flag looked really good. I'm really excited to see what he can do against this talent level, especially Parker.
I think, obviously, Cooper Flag, that's not even a question. But additionally, I think Colin Knippel, he could be a really good person to watch this season because he is one of the best shooters in that class. I truly have faith that, like, his shooting game could change a team potentially. So I don't want to not focus on him because we're all like, Cooper Flag, like, yeah, you're so good. So obviously he's so good, but like, we'll keep our eye out.
Yeah, especially because Duke, I think, has won more games last year than the Hornets have in like the last 5.
Yeah.
The best North Carolina basketball team.
Jeez. Oh. All right. So speaking of, we know again Cooper Flag. I'm actually gonna go with his high school teammate Derek Queen. He was a dog for Maryland in the tournament. He willed them to 2 of their wins. And I mean, I was lucky enough to be able to watch Derek Queen play in high school. That Montford team came to where I was in New Jersey, and he looked like the best player on the court. And that's a court with 4 or 5 NBA draft picks, and he easily looked like the best player out there. I think he's going to have a crazy season this year.
Along with Cooper Flag, I'm really excited to see how Ace Bailey plays with the
Mhm.
Jazz because since he didn't participate with any of the pre-workouts, like, I wonder how now his dynamic with the team is going to, like, play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm going to go with the number 2 pick, Dylan Harper. It's a very crowded Spurs backcourt. You know, you have De'Aaron Fox, you have Stephon Castle. Where does he really slot in? Do they run like a 3-guard lineup? Because Harper's tall enough to run 3-guard defensive sets, especially with the reigning Rookie of the Year and Stephon Castle. I'm really interested to see where he slots in minutes-wise, especially because, again, De'Aaron Fox's defense
Can't take him out.
doesn't exist. But the offense production, like you said, can't take him out. So it's going to be a really interesting rotation for a Spurs team that kind of feels like it's in the second tier of the Western Conference, like behind your Denvers, your Oklahoma Cities, Houston, if Fred VanVleet didn't tear his ACL.
Forgetting a big team there. The
Who's that?
Warriors. The Warriors, man.
Oh,
Unk
okay.
squad over here with Al Horford and all of us.
All right.
What does that make the Clippers? The graveyard shift?
Okay, not too much.
But I think we can actually. I think with Dylan Harper able to slide in nicely with that Spurs team because Victor Wembanyama is good enough to stay in the paint by himself. He is the best paint defender in the NBA by far. He can guard the paint. He can make sure nothing gets through. And I think they'll be able to run a 3-guard lineup out there with him on the floor.
Yeah, just don't ask him to go out in space because Joel Embiid dropped 70 on him, and Joel Embiid's knees are more stiff than the walls behind us.
Oh, wow, you're
Wow.
shady today, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't stand Sixers and basketball by association. So we're going to move on from that onto slightly lighter things. Speaking of injuries, hello Thursday Night Football and the San Francisco 49ers. Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, probably everybody else not named Jake Tonjes,
George Kittle.
all out with injury. Exactly, not Jake Tonjes, tight end. All out due to injury, but it's still a very fun matchup. Niners-Rams, we talk about the California rivalry. Rolls over into football. What are our expectations for this game, and can the Niners hang around despite the fact they're missing their entire team?
I'm personally not feeling it. I think the Rams are going to take this. My roommate back home, she's a 49ers fan. I'm so sorry, but the Rams are taking this. There just isn't a company. When the Rams defense. 2, your entire team is out on injury. It's just going to be, I think it'll be messy, and I think the Rams can monopolize on that.
I honestly feel so bad for the 49ers. I feel bad because they were such a good team just a couple years ago, and they have the potential to be a good team, but what is happening? I feel really bad for them. And I have Puka Nacua on my fantasy team, so I'm relying on him to keep up what he's been doing for the past couple weeks.
I feel like the one thing that we're not bringing up is the fact that this is an in-division matchup, and doesn't matter. In-division matchups always go to the wire. So I think the Rams squeak out a win here, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of other people realize.
I feel like this game's either going to be 37-30 or 13-10.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
no in between,
Absolutely.
especially with Rams 49ers, where the defenses are normally pretty good. We didn't even touch on the fact that Nick Bosa's out with a torn ACL. So it's going to
I
be
forgot that happened.
there's so many injuries with the Niners. It genuinely reads like an obituary.
Mhm.
Do you think
Yeah.
their turf is just killing them slowly?
I'm pretty sure they play on grass at Levi
Yeah,
Stadium too.
okay.
I think they fixed it after a couple years ago.
I was going to say I think they got the new stadium and putting grass there.
Oh,
It's not working for
fancy.
them.
Yeah,
Drake Greenlaw got
give
injured.
them turf.
Hey, Drake Greenlaw ended his 49ers career in
On-
Vegas.
Yeah, on a grass field.
All
So
So
I want to bring up Formula One a little bit too. We have the Singapore Grand Prix coming up. We were talking and they said, well, who's the front runner? Nobody. We don't know what's happening. No one knows what's happening. It's never going to happen.
well, Lewis Hamilton did just lose his dog Roscoe. So are we thinking of win for Roscoe this week?
I hope so.
In a Ferrari
I
car,
really,
maybe?
really hope so. I need him to do well in the Ferrari. Plus, they were talking about how the Ferrari car does kind of come alive in the heat. Leclerc was decided to looking forward to Singapore. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
I definitely think Lewis Hamilton's going to take it. I'm a Ferrari fan, so it's just who I have to root for.
I know.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, then I want to talk about is the Champions League that happened this week. We had some great games going on, and all I can say is that Manchester United is the problem. They had 4 players win Player of the Match this week after being sold out of the team for not being good enough, and that is just unbelievable. How can you not start for a team that came 17th in the Premier League last year, and now you're a man of the match in the Champions League? That just doesn't make sense. And then lastly, I want to say is Barcelona has their boogeyman, and it's been PSG.
But PSG they've beaten Barcelona the past 3 times that they played.
Yeah, last 3
It was
times.
3 times.
Yeah.
It was
3
3
in a row,
times, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So they're their boogeyman. They can't get past PSG no matter what. PSG missing their 3 best players. Ousmane Dembele, he just won the Ballon d'Or, the best player in soccer, not there. Kavica Kvaratskhelia, one of the best wingers in the world, not there. Desiree Doué, the other best players in the world, just not there, and they still couldn't squeak out the win. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He could talk about jerseys and soccer all day.
Oh,
So,
don't get me started all day.
you guys want to stay for longer, you can. It'll just be your broadcast.
It works for me.
unfortunately, I don't think we have that kind of time. But we want to say thank you to everybody for tuning into another great week of 360 shows for everybody in the control room, behind the cameras, and for Parker, Luke, and Aaron. I am Nate. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.